Hello, you beautiful Life Path 9 person. Welcome to your 2025 overview. Can you believe it is 2025 already? So, with that said, so what we're going to do here is your life sector overview. We're going to look at all the different areas of your life, how your life path number is interacting with the universal year's energy, and then we're going to go from there and get into your 12-month breakdown. But before we do, I would like to bless my decks of cards, my I would like to bless the session with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, this year, right? This is your year as a Life Path 9. We are in a universal 9 years. So, this year, the beauty of this is everyone this year is kind of getting back to themselves. In many ways, we all get a chance to remember who the fuck we are, right? Now, with that, what I love most about this for you is that this is your chance in the spotlight. The Life Path 9 person spends a lot of time helping others shine, putting others forward, giving advice, standing for, supporting, playing that sort of glue in the team sort of role. And this year, this is about you, right? So what this means is this year you get it all back. Everything that you've ever put out into the world, into the universe, is all going to find you. All the people that you've given to or supported are going to show up to help you. This year, all of the good deeds that you've put out into the world are coming back to you, potentially even threefold, right? This is your year after all. So you get to act like and behave like yourself. And that energy is on trend, right? It's going to be so much more abundant out there than I think we are than we realize, right? I think this is where I mean, and if you've been with me long enough, you know that I always believe that it's the people that help the people. You are very much the people helping the people, right? That's Life Path 9, the true messenger of the underdog. Champion of the underdog is probably what I meant there, but you get my point. You are leading the pack this year instead of standing back and helping everybody move forward. And what's more is that people see you for the shining being that you truly are. All right. So loving this year for you. Now, in terms of your love life, when it comes to love, it's your old ideas around love that are potentially outdated, around relationships, or maybe even your traditions. Those things are being phased out in some way. And I think in part, it's because you're seeing yourself differently than you ever have before. This translates into relationships and love showing up more authentically as yourself, dropping the fear around allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to be loved at a really deep level, in a way that this really sees you tapping into like what you actually need, right? And being okay with asking for that or voicing it or vocalizing it in some way. There's a level of deep honesty here. There's a complete revealing of self that strengthens the bonds of your relationships this year. And, as you're able to give even more of yourself to your partner, which is really just to be able to help you in return. If you're single, this could be a year where you release and you're letting go of being single, and then you double down on the connection that you have. The connection to the person, the connect that you connect to will likely be coming from within your own network and or connections. They might be closer at hand than you realize. I wouldn't say necessarily that it's a friend, but this may be somebody that's as a part of your wider sort of community. Now, when it comes to your finances and your resources, money is a funny subject in any language, right? But what I really feel for you that, like this year, what I feel like it really means for you is you get really serious about the resources that you have and growing them and making your money work for you. That's a really good investment any time of the year, right? And whatever the universal year is. I feel like this year you may also diversify your revenue streams and expand your resources from the current one. So it's like you're earning money from multiple sources as opposed to just one. It's also possible that the money that you make this year might go into clearing some kind of debt, maybe reducing your longer term debt, like a mortgage, etc. I also get the impression as well that rather than supporting others financially this year, It's going to be others people that sort of rally around and support you. You're getting some kind of universal blessing this year where the money that you have will be grown and the money that you've put out into the world will be coming back at you. And I think this is absolutely a time for you to collect as a life path 9. Enjoy it while it lasts, right? Now, when it comes to your work and your career, in like work in terms of this year, is absolutely a time of excitement. It's a time of growth and expansion. It will definitely see you attracting some big names and potentially some big recognition. I love this, right? Because this is for all of your hard work and dedication, all of that you've poured out in terms of sweat, blood, and tears when it comes to your work may now be rewarded. When it comes to those of you that work for others, your service is greatly appreciated or acknowledged or rewarded this year. For those of you with your own business, the growth and desire that you get and that you see is absolutely at hand, right? This is your time. Stay tuned. And I will say, this is also a year where you get to collect on the good and the hard work and effort that you've put out into the world in general. So there's a lot of good karma coming back for you guys this year, and it is your year after all. And then finally, when it comes to your health and vitality, when it comes to health this year, it's a double up of the usual thing, right? So that said, we know we need to, like, we all know what we need to do, what we need to lean into. This year, you'll know that even more intuitively, but you must prioritize your health this year. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Drink your water, get more exercise, be an active participant of life this year. Engage in the things that you love to do. This is a year to lose weight or gain weight if you need to shed pounds, to get active, to dance your butt off. This is a year to really get out there into the magic of the universe and really understand what it means to take your portion of it. Truthfully speaking, health is wealth. Many of you know I worked in massage for a fair few years. And one of the things that I always found really sad, I worked in some really prestigious hotels. I mean, if you see the cars, man, just the cars. So these people were absolutely minted. And the one thing that I found really, really sad was I very rarely met somebody who was super wealthy who had good health. If you don't have your health, it doesn't matter how much money you have, I can assure you, right? You can't be happy, you can't enjoy it. So this year, just as you get serious about everything else, get serious about your health and your wellness, right? Take a well-earned spa break or a health-related travel trip in some regard. With that said, stay tuned as we get into your 12-month breakdown. Hello, you beautiful Life Path 9 person. Welcome to your 2025 12-month tarot breakdown. Let's get straight into it. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, Life Path 9. This is your year, right? This is a universal 9 year. So one of the things that I love about this year is I think this is going to allow everybody to be a little bit more of themselves, right? So that saying really holds this year. It holds its worth, its weight in gold. When people show you who they are, believe them, right? Everybody's going to be or have access to, I believe, that much more energy to be themselves, which is wonderful. I'm calling 2025 the reboot of humanity. This is where we're going to be switching it off and switching it back on again to see what the heck is going on, right? That being said, it is worth considering that your first card out, it kind of typifies the year that you're going to have, right? It gives you a heads up as to what the overarching theme of this year is going to be for you. And for you this year, you have the Hierophant. This year is really about you establishing or re-establishing yourself. This is where you cement your space on the map. This is where you put yourself out there in a way for everybody to understand. This is where you show the world who you are. This, I actually think, is wonderful for you. I think in a lot of ways it's going to see you not only really excelling, but the things that you actually stand for, humanitarianism, charity, connection, helping people, rooting for the underdog. If you're anything like me, I'm an Aquarius. I've got a lot of 9 energy in my name in particular. So, I absolutely am a man of the people in that regard. And those things are going to be qualities this year that are actually more in vogue, right? This whole idea of brat summer and, the boss in the boardroom and all the rest of it, that's going to give way, right? That what's going to be more important or more interesting or more in vogue, let's say en vogue in sorry, couldn't help myself. What's going to be more like that over the course of this year, it's going to be about the content of your character, who you really are, right? At the heart level, at the soul level, what's important to you and how you demonstrate that to the world. You're tapping into this. The Hierophant card, aside from, your religion and all the rest of it, which I'll talk about in a moment, this is a year for you to really show people who you are. And because everything that you stand for is what is trending at this moment in time, you are going to be received really, really well. So I absolutely love this for you. Now, the Hierophant card is about your routines, your rituals. It's about your, what you do on a daily level and how you move through life. These are the things that you are re-establishing. And this year, you are establishing or re-establishing yourself. So the world gets to see you in all of your life path 9 glory. So to clarify on that, remember you're going to get 1 destiny card, 1 direction card per month of the year. And so to clarify on this year you have, in January, you've got the 8 of Cups. So for some of you, you may be walking away from a long-held commitment, something that maybe you promised yourself or told yourself that you had to do, or something that you were told you should do by somebody else. The 8 of Cups is where we walk away from something. Some of you could be walking away from a religious or a spiritual path because it's too constricting. Sorry, I got an itchy lip. Some of you could be walking away from a business venture. Some of you could be closing down a business. Some of you could be starting a business. Maybe what you're walking away from is the establishment that you work for, and you're walking towards starting your own company. In some way, shape or form, January is about taking action steps towards solidifying your future in some regard. So I love this for you. Now, remember, we start the year with Mars retrograde and Jupiter retrograde. That retrograde energy is going to be a big feature for this year. So don't get comfortable about February going direct, okay? That being said, on February the 4th, on February the 4th, Jupiter goes direct. On the 24th of February, Mars will go direct. But again, don't get too comfortable. You're going to see why. Now, as we come into February, you have the Chariot card. This is a fast and furious energy, right? This is a winning energy. So whatever you're working on, towards, or through in February, you come out successful, you come out the victor. But remember, the opposite card to this is the Tower. So you want to take it at a pace, right? And remember, we're not out of the retrograde energy fully just yet. To clarify on this, you've got the Page of Cups. Okay. We've got a time sequence. Whatever you are focused on, working on, whatever is flourishing at this time, pay attention, because here, July through to August, through to early August, late June, early to mid-July, you will be working on this again, or it will be a theme that's coming through at that time. So whatever is happening in February, pay attention, because you'll be working on it, over it, or through it again in terms of its completion as we reach that portion of the year. Now, as we come into March, packed astrological month. Full moon lunar eclipse on the 14th in the sign of Virgo. On the 29th of the month, last new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. On the 2nd of the month, Venus going retrograde in the sign of Aries. Mid-month, Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Aries. Both Mercury and Venus will retrograde back into the sign of Pisces. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac, Aries is the 1st. We're switching it off to switch it back on again. Why? Because as if that wasn't enough, Neptune, once in a lifetime transit, takes 14 years to move through a sign. It's been in Pisces now for what feels like my entire fucking existence. And I'm so ready for this transit to be over. Like, I cannot wait to see how things look and feel. You know, I know this is not about me, but I really can't wait to see how things look and feel when Neptune is in Aries. This is a huge deal. Now, it's Neptune, Saturn and Uranus, big boy planets, right? They're not going to stay in the signs that they move into this year. They're going to go in, do what they need to do, and then reverse back out. So we'll be getting we're getting a preview of what's happening. But again, Saturn and Neptune are coming back into the Pisces, going into Aries, coming back into the sign of Pisces. We're switching it off to switch it back on again. So if you want to find out how all of this speaks to your sun, your moon, or your ascendant, or also known as your rising sign, hit the link in the description box below where you can get your 2025 Astro-Tarot. They are out there. They are up and out there for your purchasing pleasure, so check them out. I put a lot of love, a lot of heart into these, and I really hope you enjoy them just as much this year as you did last year. Thank you for all of you that did purchase. It really does mean a lot. Now, for March, you've got the Death card, endings, completions, culminations. This is where you're wrapping up a cycle, right? As you come into March, this is where you're really closing it down. What's interesting to me is it feels like January and February, you kind of come in with this very clear idea of where you want to go. You feel this surge of energy pushing you towards re-establishing who you are out in the world. And yet you understand that there are things that need to come to a close or an end in order for that to happen. And March is going to see you solidifying this idea. You've got this with the Five of Swords. Any and all disputes, challenges, or issues that have been roaming around in the background, right? So as an example, let's say you've got an ex that's been really problematic and you can't get rid of them because you've got, you've got kids together. If you've had problems or issues with that person, March could actually go a very long way to you squashing whatever the problems are with that person. It's like you collectively say, you know what? We have to get on with each other until our kids are at least 18. Why not let's make it civil? It's like whatever problems or issues there were, they die down. The Death card, ending, completion, culmination. Five of Swords, a dispute or an argument. So an argument comes to a close, comes to an end. As we come into April, Venus and Mercury go direct. By the time we get to the 15th, all of the planets will be direct. This is the first time in the year we can breathe a collective sigh of relief and know that now we are moving forward. And this is where we're really moving forward. This is where the energy really sits with us and we're able to just continue to move ahead. So I love, love, love this. If you want to launch something new, this is the moment to do it. You've got the Judgment card, Blast from the Past. Watch out for March and April because there's so much retrograde energy in the air. This could be a moment where, like, if you've got an ex that's been problematic and things go well in March, April, you could be like, I don't know what happened. I just lost my head and we ended up in bed together. You know, it happens. It's a very human experience, but, you know, that could come with a lot of really conflicting and complicated feelings and questions from your children if you have them. So just keep that in mind, that it is a possibility. It's going to be a Venus retrograde, right? We're going to see all kinds of crazy, interesting stuff at this time. So to clarify on this Judgment card, you've got the King of Wands. Now, that's if you are partnered, if you've got an ex, if you are separated, divorced, etc. If you're single, you could be meeting a fire sign person, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius at this sign, who is active, dynamic, passionate. The fact that they come up with the Judgment card means one of two things. One, this person is very likely to be a Sagittarius. Two, this person could actually be somebody from your past. You could be connecting to or reconnecting with somebody from your past that you maybe haven't seen for a long time. Now, because it's the Judgment card, what we know about this person is this is not somebody that you knew 3 or 4 years ago and you dated then, or you were married then. This is someone from your deep past. We're talking at least 15 to 20 years prior. So first of all, you would have to be old enough for that to be the case. I mean, most people that watch me are like 25 to 55 anyway, so do you know what I mean? But like, this is someone from your deep past, someone that you're like, holy crap, like I haven't seen you for however long. And the connection, if you're single, could be electric. It could be palpable. You might even feel like, you know what, and maybe this is somebody that you meet that's brand new. Because of the Judgment card, it's almost like you feel like a soul connection to this person. You're like, it's really uncanny. I know I don't know you, and yet I feel completely comfortable in your presence. Weird, right? Like just really weird stuff, but wonderful stuff as well. And again, whoever this person is, they're very likely to be a fire sign. So if none of that applies to you and you're not interested in that, another way this could potentially show up for you is a chance for you to get visible in front of people that maybe you have either wanted to connect with previously. Like, so let's say, so once upon a time, many, many moons ago, I was offered to work alongside YouTube. And at the time I had so many other things going on that I wasn't able to take the opportunity. I've never been offered it again, but you bet your bottom dollar, if they ever come knocking again this time round, you know I will move heaven and earth to make that happen. All right, so as we come into May, Saturn moves into the sign of Aries. It's not going to stay there. It comes back into Pisces. So again, we're switching it off to reboot it and switching it on again properly in 2026. This is a once in 30-year transit and it lasts for 3 years, right? So you're getting a preview of what 2026 to 2029 is actually going to be about for you in that Aries area and in any area that's ruled by Saturn for you as well. So for May, you've got the Moon card. April through May, the past is very active, right? There's a lot of things going on for you at this time that it's like you're really tying up loose ends. And in order to re-establish yourself with the Eight of Cups, this is about you having to really understand what you need to walk away from, what you need to move beyond. To clarify with this, you've got the World Tree. So this is the World card. This is reconnecting to an old community. This is old friends, old friendship ties. This is checking out all of your old haunts, you know, all of the places that you grew up. This is happy memories in those places and maybe some sad ones as well, because life is moving on, right? I don't know if anybody else gets this. I turned 40 this year in 2025, and there are so many wonderful moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it, like I'm getting older, I'm doing all of these wonderful things and this is amazing. But then there's like that sadness to know that, like, wow, you know, that big, like a portion of my life, 40 years of it is done now, right? I'm like kind of halfway through. I've always thought I would live to about 82, 84, between that age. So I really am at that like halfway through sort of stage. And it does come with a little bit of melancholy, I find, right? Anyway, enough about Raph and his morbid thoughts. But yeah, there could be moments of that, but lots of checking in with your old places and spaces and haunts. And this gives you a really wonderful and elevated perspective of life, I feel. Connect with your parents and your elderly at this time as well. I would use May to have any and all conversations with them that you feel you might want to have before their time is done. Okay? Now, as we come into June, Jupiter, the Lord of growth, abundance, expansion, levity, prophecy, vision, hope for the future, meaning is coming into its sign of exaltation. Jupiter does its best work in this sign, and we are all being blessed by the great benefic planet in some way, shape or form. Now, if you want to find out what this means for your sign, you know what to do. Hit the link in the description box below. You can get your 2025 Astro-Tarot videos. So, And it's more than just a video, to be fair. It's videos, it's PDFs, it's radiant reality. You know how I do. All right, so for this you've got the Wheel of Fortune, which literally represents Jupiter. So maybe that's a sign, I don't know. But I love this for you, right? Because May puts a new perspective in, and June is a turning point. This is where you kind of say to yourself, okay, you know what? I'm ready to do this now, and I'm ready to do it in a really sort of serious way. You've got this with the Knight of Pentacles. June will see you taking some kind of epic trip, some kind of road trip, some kind of travel, some kind of journey. You're having an absolute blast, and you are also embarking on a journey that will take time. You're starting something in June. It will take time to develop, to unfold, to unpack, but it will absolutely be worth it. All right. And for those of you that are looking to, on a more mundane level, you could be getting a really nice car at this time. As we come into July, Mercury goes retrograde for the second time of the year, stays in the sign of Leo this time though. Uranus moves into the sign of Gemini. Again, we're just getting a preview. It's just going to dip its toes in. I'm in love with this transit. I can't wait to see what it brings. I'm so excited about it. More than I have been about any other transit, actually. And I don't know, well, no, I do know why. I think it's because I know what I'm expecting it to bring, and I'm interested to see if I'm right. Who isn't, right? So for July, you have the Hermit card. So it's a decidedly slower month in July, right? June is a lot more active. June is a lot more active. July, it's a bit slower. I think this is more where you're kind of just taking stock of everything that's taking place. You've got this with the Nine of Cups, beautiful energy, right? So the Nine of Cups is the number 9, obviously, and the Hermit card is also number 9. 2 9s represents receipts. So again, at this point, July, look, if you're having any buyer's remorse about this big fancy car that you've bought, make sure you keep your receipt and you'll be able to take it back. If it has any problems or any issues, make sure you keep your receipts, right? That's a mundane level. On another level, July could be like if you're traveling with people and doing some kind of epic road trip in June, July would be where you book the log cabin and you go and sit by the river or the water and you just write, okay? You journal, you reflect, you take time to just really be at peace, to be quiet, to really just heal and, you know, listen to your soul. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you will have heard me say the Hermit is, when the Hermit shows up, the High Priestess, your intuition has a message for you, but it can't get that message across because your life is too loud at this moment. As we come into August, you've got the Empress, beautiful. So August is another leisurely, pleasureful month, which I'm loving for you. To clarify on this, you've got the 3 of Cups. August will bring you a reunion, right? And it looks like that is a big feature of this year for you. Reunions, reconnections with people that you haven't seen for a long time. This will be a reconnection or a reunion with a woman who maybe you see as some kind of big role model or a formative sort of aspect of your work or your career. The 3 of Cups is get-togethers, gatherings, it's laughter, jokes, merriment, drinking, eating together, all of that. The Empress is pleasurable experiences. August is just a really great, easy month, and I love this. And actually, because we're out of retrograde season, I think August is one of those months where you will just be enjoying the downtime and really, I guess, enjoying the fruits of your labour. The Empress is number 3. Obviously, the 3 of Cups, 2 3s represents a calming influence. August is fun. It's enjoyable, it's pleasurable, it's good food, good wine, it's just good everything, and you are enjoying the most of it. As we come into September, second eclipse season of the year, you've got the full moon lunar eclipse on the 7th in the sign of Pisces. You've got the new moon solar eclipse on the 21st in the sign of Virgo. For this, you have the Lovers card. Love, relationship, and choices are abounding at this time. You've got this with the High Priestess. Okay, this is an option that's on the table that will require a lot of forethought. What's really interesting, okay, let me finish this first. What's really interesting about this combination for me is the decisions that you're making in September will have very real outward ripples. They will cause things to be very visible to people. And so the decisions that you're making in September, you're doing this behind closed doors. This looks like maybe you've got an advisor, maybe you've got a coach, maybe you've got a financial advisor. You've got somebody that you're working with maybe in the background or one-to-one. And the way that I feel like this is happening for you is it's almost like you're getting a deep insight into, it's like if making this decision is going to impact my life and several people's lives moving forward in a probably a very profoundly wonderful way, but even still, it requires you to not be swayed by, and you are prone to being swayed by what's good for other people and, how does this, you can't do that here. You're going to need to really make this decision based on what you feel is right, what you want for your future. The other way that this could show up, whether you're partnered, single, or married, whatever the case might be, this can show up sometimes as a clandestine affair, right? So maybe you are single and you date somebody and you don't want anybody to know because it's new and you don't know if it's going to go anywhere. Maybe you've got kids and so you don't want to introduce somebody new to them unless you're serious about them. Maybe you are, just in the process of a divorce and you meet somebody and you don't want your person to know so that they think like, oh, well, this is why you've been acting so shady and all the rest of it is because you were always going to leave me for them. And that might not be the case at all. It is possible that some of you could step out on a relationship. No judgment. I'm just saying this is a signature for it, so watch out. As we come into October, you've got the Hanged Man. Slow and steady is going to win the race. Reassess, reevaluate. Where are you? What does that feel like? Why does it feel that way? You've got this with the Two of Pentacles. When it comes to your money, your finances, and your budgeting, rethink it. Whatever ideas you have, whatever you're setting into motion, the numbers don't make sense yet. That may be because you're overspending. Let's say you start renovating a house and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, gold taps, and then you're like, budget is not really allowing for those gold taps, right? And it's not to say that money will be an issue at all. It's just to say that whatever your budget is, these numbers don't make sense. So if there is a chance to work with or around a financial advisor, try and do it outside of eclipse season. So anywhere from like the 25th of September onwards, I would say is better, because then you're out of the eclipse sort of window. Yeah, something about the numbers and the budget and the resources is not making sense at this point. So be careful what you commit to financially as well. As you come into November, we have the third and final Mercury retrograde of the year. This one is in the sign of Sagittarius. It's going to come back into the sign of Scorpio. You have the Tower card, right? So if there's going to be any derailing this year, this is probably where it's going to show up. November has the potential to be a very disruptive month. You've got this with the King of Pentacles, usually an earth sign male, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. So this could be it could be a challenge with or through an earth sign person. It could also be that an earth sign person is causing problems, challenges, or issues in your world. Now, this could be about your money, it could be about your paycheck, it could be about money that you're making from your business. Because you've got this next to the Two of Pentacles, one thing that I want to say to you is if you're relying on money from a financial institution, whatever is promised in October, you're not seeing all of the facts, and it's quite possible that that financial institution could go back on their word in November. Whatever happens, October and November, please do not bank on what is coming through until you actually see it in your bank account. This is not the time to make a big financial commitment only, on the back of, oh, well, this money's going to come. Until you actually see it in your account, don't move on anything until you see it absolutely secure. For December, you've got the High Priestess. Okay, so hidden things revealed. Now, it's really funny because one of the ways that this could show up, and you've got this with the Queen of Pentacles, this could be, right, it doesn't have to be like a secret comes to light, although it possibly could be that. It could literally be, so one of my friends is a Life Path 9 and she's taken her her kid on a bucket list holiday trip in December. So this could literally be like you're revealing something that you've been holding on to as a secret for the longest time, and it could be wonderful. Now you've got the Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo woman. So what do we see here? Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. This is a couple that I'm sorry to say could be breaking up. Doesn't actually necessarily have to be you and your significant other, but you'll be hearing of a breakup at this point, and this will be a marriage that you look at and think, wow, I thought you guys were unbreakable, or, you know, nobody ever thought that you guys would split up. This is how this could be showing up. On a personal level, that High Priestess with the Queen of Pentacles, this could be a secret pregnancy. That's very possible. And another way that this could also show up is you are doing something on a practical level that really helps support you and your physical health and vitality. And you're also working on or towards developing your psychic or spiritual abilities in some regard. So in terms of your challenge and power months, I think March is a challenge month, absolutely. I think, yeah, March is a challenge month. May is a potentially emotional month. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a challenge month. October, November, challenge months, absolutely. All right. In fact, the last 4 months of the year, they're interesting. Your power months, however, I love January, love February, big fan of June for you. In fact, I love June. I really like July. I love August. I think out of all of these, the true highlight months for you, August, June, and February. I think those are the real power months of the year. Everything else I think is neutral. So your Human Design Oracle deck card is kind of like a universal nudge to say this is the direction. And for this, you've got the Gate 50 and responsibility. And the message behind this card is not just about you have to be responsible, because you already are, right, as a Life Path 9. The message behind this is really to lead by example, right? To set a good example for whether this is your kids, whether it's your family, humanity as a whole. And it's also about taking responsibility for your actions and knowing that whatever you do is going to reflect on your family or your people, right? So however you move through life, let it be in a way that really speaks to everything and all the things that you know you are. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic year. Check in month by month, every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever it is for you. I wish you all of the best for this year ahead. Take care, and I'll see you soon.